Howdy everyone, my name is Sarah Mani, and today I will talk to you about curriculum models. What are curriculum models? Curriculum models are sequences of steps that serve as guidelines during the process of curriculum development. Several models for curriculum development exist, but this presentation will focus on three major ones: the Tyler rationale, the Taba rationale, and the Olivia model. The Tyler model is the most persistent of all curriculum models, set forth by Ralph Tyler, a professor at the University of Chicago in 1950. Tyler's rationale emphasizes 4 steps integral to the curriculum development process. 1. Defining objectives. What educational purposes should the school seek to obtain? 2. Selecting educational experiences. What educational experiences can be provided that may result in the attainment of said objectives? 3. Organizing educational experiences, which is how can these experiences be organized to effectively attain the objectives? And 4. Validating whether the educational objectives are being attained. It is a deductive top-down approach, with the general objectives being identified by administration, followed by a subsequent narrowing down into specific instructional objectives by the instructors. This approach asserts that the development of objectives is the necessary first step in curriculum development, as it directly influences every other aspect of the process. However, as there could result a surplus of objectives, some of which may be contradictory to each other, a series of psychological and philosophical screens will be used to filter the objectives and only allow the worthy ones to pass through. Advantages include: the sequential step-by-step approach greatly simplifies the curriculum development process. Emphasis on the general educational objectives provides a clear direction for instruction. Disadvantages. Disadvantages include the fact that this model may not reflect how teachers implement curriculum, as this process is constantly changing, particularly evident in modern times when online learning has become an integral part of education. This model is only applicable to areas where the material being taught can be easily broken down into a step-by-step process. This method can limit creativity and flexibility. Also, measurable objectives are overly emphasized, and unquantifiable objects such as moral and ethical objectives are inherently neglected. As identified objectives tend to be general and hence vague, individuals can interpret the meaning in their own ways, leading to misinterpretation and a gap between what is taught and what is expected. The Taba model. The Taba model was developed by Hilda Tabel and published in her book Curriculum Development, Theory and Practice in 1962. It is an inductive approach as opposed to the deductive approach developed by Tyler. It asserts that since the teachers are aware of the students' needs, they should be involved in the curriculum development process. She believed that it would be more profitable to begin with the planning of teaching learning units and allow the educational objectives to emerge from them, instead of the other way around in deductive models. As you can see by the figure, the teaching learning units can be thought of as a combination of 4 elements: the content, learning experiences, teaching strategies, or other ways in which instructions will be implemented, and the evaluative measures to determine the degree of success or failure of the techniques. The intermingling of these 4 elements allows the emergence of the 5th element, the general objectives. Advantages include: the specific needs of the society are first identified and addressed in the teaching learning units, allowing the students to be better equipped for service to their respective communities, and ensuring that these objectives are in line with the needs of society. Emphasis is placed on needs rather than general objectives. Also, it allows more flexibility in teaching and encourages ingenuity and creativity amongst students. In deductive models, the administration-student gap can result in discontinuities in education. Teachers are closer to the students and can design the curriculum to fit the students' needs as well. Disadvantages. The evaluation process may need special emphasis to ensure that the educational objectives arising from the teaching learning units are in line with industrial, economic, and societal standards, and not off track. Administration will have a larger role to play here. Care must be taken to ensure the students are attaining a well-rounded education and not just in areas the teacher is most comfortable teaching. Teachers may lay too great a focus on material they want to teach rather than the material that should be taught. Many unquantifiable learning experiences may not be clearly evident directly, and care must be taken to ensure these are not overlooked. The Olivia model. The Olivia model is based on several previous models such as the Tyler model, Taba model, as well as Saylor, Alexander, Lewis, SAL model, and the Context, Input, Process, Product, CIPP model. Olivia realized that the needs of students in individual communities are not always the same as the needs of students in the general society. This model can give the faculty the guidance to develop the complete curriculum for a school, allowing them to either focus on the curricular components of the model or the instructive components, or both. In addition, the model constantly requires the planners to answer the following questions. 1. Whether the curriculum is functioning while in operation. 2. If the best material is being used and following the best methods. And 3. Whether the programs are cost effective. It includes 12 components as shown on the screen. 1. Curriculum developers state the aims of education and their philosophical and psychological principles. These aims are beliefs that are derived from the needs of a society. 2. An analysis of the needs of the community in which the learning center is located, the needs of students served in that community, and the demands of the subject matters that will be taught in the given learning center. This component also introduces the concept of needs of particular students in particular localities, because the needs of students in particular communities are not always the same as the general needs of students throughout society. 3 and 4. These components describe for specifying curricular goals and objectives based on the aims, beliefs, and needs specified in components 1 and 2. 5. The tasks of this component are to organize and implement the curriculum and to formulate and establish the structure by which the curriculum will be organized. Part of the findings in this study is to identify the components of knowledge acquired for students. Future curriculum design for the curriculum must include inputs from various stakeholders such as practitioners, academicians, professional bodies, and the government. Note, the inputs from the logistic practitioners are used as part of the curriculum design. 6 and 7. In these components, an increasing level of specification is sought. Instructional goals and objectives are stated for each level and subject. 8. Implementation of effective instructional strategies for usage with students in the classroom. 9. The curriculum planner thinks ahead and begins to consider ways he or she will assess student achievement. 10. The implementation of instructional strategies. The instructional phase component provides the planner with opportunity to refine, add to, and complete the selection of means to evaluate student performance. 11. Evaluating instruction is carried out. And 12. The component completes the cycle with the evaluation not of the student or teacher, but rather for the curricular program. Advantages of this include greater emphasis on continuous evaluation and revision of the curriculum when needed. The needs of the students and the community are prioritized, and a set of objectives are then developed in line. The main educational objectives stem from the societal needs and not just some detached higher power, ensuring that the program has instructional direction and the direct needs are also being met. Also, increased adaptability of the curriculum to economic and social changes due to continuous evaluations and revisions being made. Disadvantages include it is a complex and time-consuming process due to the constant evaluations and increased number of steps. Now onto my model of choice. I would choose to implement the Olivia model for several reasons. The Olivia model combines the benefits of both the Tyler and Tabo rationales. Like the Tabo model, the needs of the community are analyzed, but instead of going directly into the development of teaching learning units, main educational objectives are first determined. This provides instructional direction and does not assume that all communities have similar needs. Unlike the Tyler rationale, this approach will not involve misinterpretations resulting from vague general objectives, as the objectives obtained will be clearly directed towards the needs of the community. And unlike the Tabo rationale, the formulation of clear objectives before the development of teaching learning units will provide a clear direction for instruction, ensuring that all objectives are addressed. The Olivia model involves a great emphasis on the evaluation of instruction. This ensures that student learning is optimized, with changes and revisions made as needed. It also ensures that, despite the changes in instruction employed to address different communities and ages, the educational objectives are continually met and the program is kept on track. This allows for a fluid curriculum. Based on the current global climate in wake of the coronavirus pandemic, adaptability to radical change has shown to become a necessary aspect of any successful process. Whether the issues involve a global pandemic or changing economic and social societies, the Olivia model ensures that constant revision and evaluations allow for the curriculum to continue to adapt and change as well. The process of constant evaluation gives the opportunity for stakeholder involvement. This allows for those receiving instruction to have a say in how it is being done. This can result in emphasis on the cost-effectiveness of the program, a factor that plays a major role in the education of modern youth. By ensuring students are getting value for money, overall literacy standards will only be expected to rise as more and more students are able to enroll in educational program. And now implications for undergraduate engineering education, which is my area. Education in different parts of the world will lay special emphasis on fields of study relevant to that community. Greater industrial exposure to those particular fields will enhance employment opportunities for students upon graduation. For example, students looking to pursue a career in petroleum engineering may look to go to Texas for higher education, and those interested in automobile engineering may find their specialty in Germany. Since educational curricula are developed to fit the needs of the community, students will be instructed in material pertaining to developing the local area, resulting in faster economic and societal growth. For example, material related to civil engineering will be encouraged in places in need of better infrastructure. Students in countries with hot climates with a good deal of strong sunlight may be encouraged to work in fields pertaining to green, solar energy, and so on. However, to ensure the multidimensionality of students, greater responsibility will fall on the evaluation process to ensure that diversity in education is not lost. As cost-effectiveness becomes a criterion for relevance, more and more students will have access to quality education, and those underprivileged will have a better chance of achieving a better standard of living. Current research. With the growth of an increasingly mobile population, the global student body has drastically changed, with most universities and institutions of higher education becoming more international than they were before. With this changing environment, curricula needs to adapt and change appropriately. Current research focuses on integrating technology with modern curricula and facilitating cognitive processing. Research has shown that students in general accept the use of technology in education. Special needs education. Many modern curricula are being developed to target the development of cognitive, motor, and communication skills of special needs children, including the EHA2 curriculum model being implemented in Finland. 21st century skills such as critical thinking, collaborative thinking, integration environment, and digital tools. And also, integrated curricula involving constructivism. Scientists have recently been able to use advanced imaging technologies to study the operation of the brain, with the research spawning a constructivist form of integrated curriculum models, involving students constructing their own knowledge. Thank you very much, and thank you for listening.